you've got a lot of people to share on Facebook. So, anyway, thank you all for coming. There's a couple that couldn't make it or coming later, and that's understandable because a lot of you guys are coming right back on Sunday. So, I just wanted to say a few things before we give Jessica her cake, which is going to be an epic, most epic cake you've ever seen in your life. I first met Jessica probably 5-6 years ago, but before I met her, a quick funny story is that she ran the Courtside restaurant in Pinckneyville, and I was in there with a guy I worked with named Larry Woodsides, and I was single at the time, and we were in there, and Larry said, "Hey, you ought to check her out. She's a good-looking single gal." I said, "Larry, she doesn't have any kids. She's never been married. She dresses really nice, and she probably doesn't want a hillbilly like me. Besides, have you seen the car she drives?" So I kind of laughed it off, and that was the end of that. So about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years later, Soup over here, raise your hand, Soup, not everybody knows you. This would be Jessica's manager with Country calls me and says, "Keenan, do you know Jessica Holder?" I said, "Yeah, I know Jessica." He said, "What do you think about her?" I said, "Well, I think she's outgoing and good looking, but I don't know much else." And ain't that what I said? Pretty well?
That was enough, yeah.
That was enough. I said, "I think people would be interested in sitting down with her, so she might be pretty good." So, end of the road, Soup ended up hiring her. I got to know her a little bit better. We talked a lot about work. One thing led to another. Eventually, we're dating. And she was really cool. She's hardcore, you know. She doesn't really like people, and she's mean, and she's a big city woman, and she's not ever going to get married or settle down, and she doesn't want kids. And so I was like, I really don't want anything to do with this girl. I got to find a way to get rid of her.
Aww.
Until one day, she sprung on me that she actually does want kids and a family and to settle down. So then I knew that I wanted to be with her. So, and I remember the day I thought, a friend of mine, I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone, Sean, and I went to her apartment one day to see her. And I remember she was standing in the hall, and as soon as I just looked at her while she was getting ready, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's not indigestion." And I walked out and I called my friend Sean. I said, "Houston, we have a problem." He said, "What's that?" I said, "I don't think I can get rid of this one. I think I'm falling in love." So Sean said, "No, you're not, dude. Just kick her to the curb and move on." So he didn't want to believe it. But anyway, I was, obviously. And one thing led to another, and now we're having a baby.
Yay.
On Thanksgiving Day, a little girl, and we're getting married on Sunday.
Yay! Yay!
So that's pretty cool. And now she does drive a BMW, but she is living in a pole barn. She's wearing a $5 dress. She eats McDonald's for breakfast, so we've kind of found a happy medium because I'm really cheap and I'm a hillbilly, not like a... But I did buy a new suit from Fred last week, so I got something going for me.
You don't want to know what I had to do to sell that suit.
Because I ain't buying nothing new and nothing expensive. But, so, a little story about our engagement. We had talked about getting married, and then she didn't feel good early on in the pregnancy, and I knew I wanted to get... We had talked about getting married before she was ever pregnant, but she didn't want to get married, didn't want to get married till after the baby, and I was like, okay. So on June the 10th, we drove home from Evansville, and she said, "Okay, I think I want to get married before I get big." And I was like, well, big's a relative term. How big are you talking? And so we set a date 3 weeks ago, Sunday. So we're getting married exactly 3 weeks after we set the wedding date, which is amazing, and we're glad that Patty, where she ever is, could help us with that. So we went, when we found out we had a little girl, we went to, after I found out we were having a little girl, which was enough to send me over the edge, because I'm used to boys, and I don't know that I can handle a girl, especially Jessica's daughter, who might or might not be really expensive. We're going to see how this plays out. So we immediately went after. I said, hey, let's just go look at some rings. And Monica said, "You got to call me. We got to look at the ring." But I thought, I ain't never going to buy her anything until I know that she likes it, because Jessica would be like, that's not really what I want. So I wanted to be sure. So we went and looked at rings, and the lady said, "All right, I'll call you in a couple days, let you know." Well, the lady called me and said, "Yeah, what you're wanting is going to be 4 to 6 weeks. And I said, "Well, we have a problem now." She said, "What's that?" I said, "I'm getting married on July 1st. And she's like, Well, you ain't going to have the ring she wants. So that was an issue, but not the end of the world, because Jessica honestly she's not that worried about the ring, which is amazing. There's a lot of girls that would be, but she said, my grandma has the ring, I'll just wear it. And then she just kind of got the ring and put it on her finger, and I'm like, and I met with her mom and dad, and we had a nice dinner and talked about me and Jessica getting married. And they said they like me. They're not going to refuse me. Jimmy's a cop. He's her brother. He hasn't arrested me yet or thrown me in jail just to prevent this from happening. So I feel good. But I've never been actually able to propose to Jessica.
Woo!
Because I don't have a ring, because we couldn't get her ring yet, and she's wearing her grandma's ring. So, since we don't do anything traditionally, I have got Jessica a little something here. What good is a ring when she's the only one that can wear it when you can buy a cake and everybody can eat it, right?
Yay!
So, Jessica, don't look yet. Get this thing out somehow without tearing it up.
Someone help him.
No, I got it. Don't worry.
Maybe you should tap her.
Okay, gotta do that a little bit. So, I'm going to get down and ask Jessica
Oh!
if she would marry. What's this? Happy birthday, 30th Jessica. Will you marry me in 2 days? Before I spill it.
Is that what you're going to do at the wedding? No. No.
No. I'm going to follow through at the wedding. I'm not big on the public displays of affection.
Okay.
But Judy, I'm going to take care of it at the wedding.
Okay.
Don't worry. So anyway, now we're officially engaged.
Yay!
She's going to have to feed a piece of cake to make sure that happens. We do have a wedding band already, just no ring. So she's going to be wearing a wedding band for a while, and eventually we'll get the ring. So thank you guys all for coming. We're going to cut some cake. Everybody's got their food. It was great. I know mine was really good. And we're going to get you guys some cake. So, yeah, you guys speak now.
Sorry.
Come on, she's
Okay, Martin, thanks. So, like Keenan said, I remember him from Pinckneyville, and also at the press, he was running the ads upside down, which he now tells me was declined by compliance, so he never got reimbursed for those, because he ran them upside down in the paper. So, I'm like, who's this idiot intentionally running these ads upside down? Well, I forgot his name, anyway. So, until now.
You just remembered my name?
So, courtside happened, I kind of knew Keenan, didn't think anything of it, because all I cared about was work and family and the chamber, and I didn't really notice anything else in my life. And with country, we just started talking more, and I got to know him and thought, man, we have a few things in common. He might upstage me, and I was a little concerned about that, but I've never met somebody that is so, I feel so good about, what?
Upstage you?
No, come on, Martin.
Just kidding.
I know, but somebody that can really be my partner in life and work and everything, that supports my goals and I support his goals, and we're a team in everything we do, whether it's the kids' ball games or work contests or sitting at home watching TV together. We're the ultimate team, and we support each other, and what more could you want?
Yay!
Yay! And now we're actually ready to get married after all that. Right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll cut some cake. We're going to deliver some cake. I would really like for you all to eat a small piece of cake, at least a small piece of cake, because if we cut them big, we might run out. So I'm going to cut some cake. You can sit down.
Okay.
I'll give you the first. There you go. Keep it up.